salutations, and for your consideration, my name is John Campea. Welcome to our weekly podcast coming to you from Hollywood, California, oddly enough, here on Super Bowl Sunday. We're actually recording this a few hours before the Super Bowl, so I will put my neck on the line and predict that the Steelers win 27-17. That's my prediction. I'm going to go around the table and introduce our panel for today. First of all, starting to my right, he is a content producer for Trigger. And you might have seen, you didn't ask me to do this, I'm going to do this.
Okay.
If you have an iPhone or an iPad, I highly recommend you download the Green Hornet game that Soul Heroes producer on, Mr. Soul Video, John Green. Soul?
I would like to put out my own Super Bowl prediction right now. Chicago Bears, 437 points. The Steelers, -14.
Awesome. I think you could be onto something. Sitting to Soul's left, he is one of the most experienced guys in the movie online film journalism field. He's a writer for such places as IGN. You also do film coverage for things like the Wall Street Journal. Mr. Todd Gilchrist. Todd, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. And I also write for Box Office Magazine. I don't write for IGN anymore, but I do write. But I write for Cinematical, Box Office Magazine, and the Wall Street Journal.
Is there any other painful memories I should bring up? Or?
No. Just when well, you could bring up when my mother left me on a doorstep, and
Cuts deep. It cuts really deep.
That's deep. Yeah. Sitting across from Todd, she's always been one of my absolute favorite people in the online movie blog sphere. She is a former senior editor at Rotten Tomatoes, former film critic at Movies.com, and now she is with Movieline. Miss Jen Yamato. Jen, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Who's playing in this football game?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh's in Green Bay. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, I have a prediction for the Super Bowl. I may watch some of it.
That's a solid prediction. That's a prediction you can get behind.
My money is on the puppies to win
the Puppy Bowl. On Animal Planet. It is pretty awesome, I gotta say.
Do they fight girls in lingerie? Is that
that's a different channel, though. It's not the same channel.
And then the winner fights beer bottles.
Oh, okay.
The Bud Bowl.
The Bud Bowl. All right.
Sitting to Jen's right, he is the founder and senior editor of ThinkHero.com, Mr. Dennis Tzeng. Dennis?
How's it going, guys?
Good. Listen, let's jump into it here. I think it's easy to say that the biggest movie news, if you will, of the week was that amidst all the speculation about who would be taking over for Brandon Routh, which I still think is a shame that he is not coming back to play Superman again. That somebody help me out with the last. I've never had to say Henry's last name.
Cavill.
It is Cavill. Henry Cavill has been cast to be the new Man of Steel, Superman, in Zack Snyder's rendition of the film that'll be coming up in 2012. Is that what they're saying?
I think so.
I think 2012, which has sparked a lot of talk online about this whole topic and a little bit of controversy. So now, of course, Henry's best known as being in a TV show that I've never seen.
The Tudors.
The Tudors. Has anybody at this table watched The Tudors?
No, but I will tell you why I know who Henry Cavill is, and the surprising, online community that will now be much more invested in the Superman reboot, is the Twilight community. Henry Cavill was Stephenie Meyer's original Edward Cullen that she had in mind. He was her fantasy man.
I forgot all about that. I remember I did hear that earlier this week.
But when it came to casting Twilight, he was way too old. So all of the Twilight fans know who he is, which is really interesting. I'm not sure that means they're going to come out to see Superman.
Are there any vampires in the reboot? That's the question. I think that's going to be the drop of it.
Just doing my part to bring every conversation back to Twilight.
Todd, what was your reaction when you heard about this? Is this good for this reboot? Is it bad for this reboot? Is it a wait and see? What are your thoughts?
I'm kind of ambivalent about it. I certainly thought that the controversy over the fact that he was English was kind of like a non-issue because
which we will get into here in a second. By the way.
But in just in terms of his casting, the impression I get is that they want to try to sort of standardize Superman himself. So, it's only sort of the Clark Kent part that is really the most important.
Right.
And, I have I haven't seen him really in anything that I remember him in. But I don't, I'd never seen Brandon Routh either, and I thought he did a great job. So, for me, it's kind of like, whoever they picked, short of picking somebody who, I don't know, old dirty bastard or something. I don't know, like
Michael Caine is,
I mean, that could have been awesome, but maybe not
to reanimate his corpse.
Yeah.
Dennis, your thoughts on this?
I don't have a problem with him. I don't know his work. But I do know that he was up for a lot of different roles. Like he was I think cast as Superman earlier with McGee
before Bryan Singer,
and he had been up for Batman and James Bond, and so this is like his final breakthrough. He
came close a lot.
Yeah.
People like him. Soul.
Well, again, like I said, the only issue I was familiar with when this casting news came out was the sort of fake controversy that he was British. But I mean, if you look at Hugh Laurie, like that guy could act his way into a paper bag factory and then within a week be the president. So I think that he's completely qualified to, and pull this through, especially, with a role like Superman. So.
And Zack Snyder casting is interesting too, because when you looked at 300, really, Gerard Butler before 300 was that guy from Phantom of the Opera. Mm-hmm. I mean, so and that seemed to work out just fine. But Todd, you brought up the whole thing about his nationality. There has been a lot of stuff online, people talking about, he's not American. You got now, and this is interesting. You have 3 charter members of the Justice League of America that have movie franchises either out or on the go. You got Superman, Batman, and the Green Lantern. Superman is now from the UK. Batman, who's Christian Bale, is also from the UK. And Ryan Reynolds, who is the Green Lantern, is Canadian.
Yet to be proven.
Yeah. And you have to say Spider-Man's a British actor, too.
And Spider-Man is now a British actor, too. But I just thought it was interesting that 3 charter members of the Justice League of America, none of them are American. Some people are saying this is an issue. I happen to agree with Todd 100% on this. I think this is beyond a non-issue. Now, some people think it's a non-issue because, Superman is an American. I mean, he's not even from this planet. It just happens to be where his ship crashed.
Can we not, in this day and age, consider the Justice League of naturalized America?
I think you're onto something. I think Zack Snyder needs to pay attention to you on this.
Well, I saw somebody write on Twitter. They said this was just revenge for making Sherlock Holmes American.
Oh yeah, which that's what Zack Snyder's concerned about.
Which I think turnabout is fair play. I mean, look, because if you look at, in all seriousness, like if you look at Robert Downey Jr. playing Sherlock Holmes, I can't attest to the authenticity of his English accent, but I didn't question it while I was watching the movie, and I don't expect that I'll question it when I'm watching this guy do an American accent either. And it's the same thing as you said with Christian Bale doing Bruce Wayne.
Nobody questions Christian Bale doing anything.
Well, I think there's a difference though, because Superman, even though he's an alien who comes down to Kansas, his character is supposed
Kansas America.
Is supposed to represent these supposed ideals of America.
Sure.
Truth, justice, and whatever, fighting for the American way.
Whatever.
So he's a character.
A character created by a Canadian, by the way.
But it's a character much like Captain America. I don't have a problem with the casting of a British actor. I just think it's interesting that on the flip side, I think other countries like Britain would be. They'd be upset if we had an American actor as Harry Potter or James Bond. Imagine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Todd was just bringing up Sherlock Holmes.
I do like the idea that somehow this is like an underground cinematic cabal Ryder Cup. You know what I mean? Where they're keeping score on a chalkboard, being like, "Oh, really? Well, just wait until you see who we cast next."
But isn't all of that? Now, I remember this thing really was a hot issue back when Zhang Ziyi was cast in Memoirs of a Geisha. Which you have some real nationality issues going on there, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, if an actor is hired to play Hitler, is it required that he be a Nazi?
Hitler, no. But Memoirs of a Geisha was the biggest abomination.
Well, that was
across the board. It was a terrible.
Well, it's a horrible movie, but it was based on a book written by a white man, and then it was written about very distinctly Japanese culture. And then what was kind of more offensive to me personally was that Rob Marshall was committed to authenticity only insofar as he could make it sexy, And so, he's like, well, we cast the best actor for the role. And I'm like, well, why didn't you think of African-American actors or white actors for that matter?
Right.
I mean, like I love Zhang Ziyi, but I don't know that necessarily like those two arguments are the same thing.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I mean, clearly you can't have an African American actor play, John F. Kennedy
or Spider-Man, maybe.
There's no believability there.
Have you seen White Chicks? Because anything is possible.
But
I was behind the whole Black Spider-Man argument for a while. Yeah,
I'd be fine with that because I don't care. I don't think it's essential to Peter Parker's character whether he's white or black.
No, it's not.
But at the end of the day, is not the role of an actor. Whenever an actor steps on screen, unless it's a documentary, they are going on to portray somebody that they are not. Whether it's somebody of a certain nationality, of a certain political persuasion, of a certain temperament, of a certain character type, actors step on screen and they are becoming somebody who they are not actually in real life. And so when you talk about a guy playing Superman who doesn't happen to be American, who cares?
I think for me it comes down to the perceived reasoning behind casting. Like with Memoirs of a Geisha, I kind of like the feeling I got was, well, she looks Asian. But with Henry Cavill, like he's chiseled and he looks...
I mean, he doesn't look like a chimney sweep, you know what I mean? Like, he can probably pull it off, so...
Yeah. I think they should have cast Dick Van Dyke. If we're talking about chimney sweeps, I think that would be, So.
But since Cavill is now cast, let's look back a little bit and mourn, if you will, just a touch about who do you think should have been cast? Because I think it's safe to say if we go around this table, none of us thought 3 weeks ago, you know who they're probably going to get? Henry Cavill. No, that's probably not. Who do you think, when you were thinking about who might end up being Superman, whether it's who you think should have been or who you thought it would have been, who were you thinking it could have been? Soul?
2 words. Pierce Brosnan. I mean, what they did... never mind.
You told me you can watch Nabi before the show.
Yeah.
Todd, what do you think?
I'm pretty terrible about speculating about casting, but I would say, I thought it was interesting that after The Social Network, everybody talked about the fact that Armie Hammer at one point was supposed to play Bruce Wayne / Batman in the Justice League movie. And after the movie, they also started, I think there was like some maybe minor speculation about like he could be a good Superman. And
apparently he was in the running, apparently.
Yeah, and I think that he would have been a great choice. I mean, I really like him as an actor. Like it just sort of depends on what actual age they want that character to be.
Yeah.
Which since I have no idea what the story is going to be, like I don't know, if he would have been too young or or whatever. But he's a guy who I would have been happy to see play that role.
Jen?
I'm on the Armie Hammer train too. It would be nice to just see him get some love because he got attention after Social Network, and then that kind of really went away.
Too. Mm-hmm. Well-deserved attention.
So I would love to see him get some big money-making role like this. Who else was in contention? I forget.
Oh, gosh. You know what? I was just reading it. There's a list of 5 or 6
First
names.
of all, why can't we give Ryan Reynolds another franchise? I mean, he's probably got like franchise. 2 or 3 hours Saturday night when he's not doing a movie. We could just sneak it in there and film around it like Bowfinger style.
Can we just give him all of them?
Yeah. Well, they can just film him in front of a green screen and then just paste different costumes on him.
Be like, and Superman.
And he just says different lines and they insert like the names.
Or for that matter, James Franco. I mean, he's doing every movie anyway, so we might as well just put him in.
Did you see the SNL skit last night?
I did, yeah.
It was pretty good. Anyway.
I'll be honest, I was still really holding out hope. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I was really holding out hope that Ralph would return to reprise. Because regardless of what most people think about the last Superman film, I thought Ralph was wonderful in it.